Got some stuff. I got them locked and loaded. Gonna get them out. That's one thing too, is since I am independent, I don't feel, I kind of do it as when it feels right, when it genuinely feels right to do. It's no pressure. It's just like, okay, do I truly want to do this? Ain't no ex like, hey, you gotta. There's nobody doing that, so I have to make that decision, which is a gift. I wouldn't say it's a curse, but it forces that accountability.
All right, today we got the one and only Hannibal Buress.
What's up, man?
Mr. Eshu Tune now, though.
Eshu Tune, yeah.
Last we talked, it was all about comedy. We're getting ready for a special that you had, Miami Nights. But now we're about to talk about your music career, man.
Yeah, for sure, man.
So who is Eshu Tune?
Eshu Tune is my musical alter ego. Eshu is from Yoruba mythology, Nigerian mythology, the trickster god. I was looking for a stage name, and then so I just looked up African mythology, and I just connected with that description. It kind of felt like me and some of the things I've done, and it just felt right, and it helped me to. It really was a big help to kind of separate the worlds a little bit from just because now I look at Eshu as okay, we can build them together. Because now I can't, if I want to do a little bit of comedy on the show, it's like, hey, they'll both be there.
Right.
I change shirts. I could think of it like, Hannibal's in a t-shirt, Eshu was in the red shit or something, so it's nice to, it's been fun. And so I'm excited for the growth, and performing has been really exciting, and got a lot of dope stuff coming up.
So talk to me through the journey a bit, because I know this is something that you spent a lot of time on in the pandemic. And last time we talked about it, you were getting ready to release Miami Nights. And this was around the same time that you had started working on music. Yeah. So what was your mindset at the time? You got this big comedy special coming out, but you also were thinking about this new career opportunity.
My mindset, 2020, it was putting out the special during that time was hella weird, just because it wasn't the usual motions and movements that you have with putting out a special, doing events, doing press in person. I did the Daily Show, but it was on Skype. And it just felt weird doing television from my place, because you still get wired, kind of, but then you just wired at the crib. You're like, man, I'm not getting in the car to go somewhere else it's just, you just stare like, ugh.
Right.
I remember doing, I did First Take with Stephen A. Smith, something for Last Dance, just talking about Last Dance. And I remember I kept messing with them, changing jackets, and just.
Oh, I remember that.
Molly was giving me sass. Oh, thanks for being so professional. I'm trying to, nobody, like, you want me to make a great statement about Last Dance? Like, oh, yeah, Last Dance, what's up there? I'm trying to have some fun, make some real memories here. Nobody will care about my take on.
It is a documentary, right? It's not like it's an event that happened last night.
Yeah, if I make a great point about the 96 Bulls, 98 Bulls in 10 years, but people don't care if I was chaotic as hell. I need to put that clip back up, actually. That was really fun. I'm sweating and shit. It was a good time. But you're putting out the special then, and it was weird, man. And I wanted the music. I started really diving in November of 20 when I was out in Hawaii. It was nice to be able to lock in and focus. I've always wanted to do it, and finally found the time. And the time was always there, honestly, but I wasn't as good as maneuvering time as I am now. Because looking back, I could have been on the road after gigs instead of going to the club. Could have been booking studio time, that type of thing. But I'm glad it happened when it happened.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think too, I've looked a lot about how you chose to roll this out, right? It's not like you just did one single, let me drop it and see what happens. You had an 8-track EP that you put out specifically for it. What was your goal in terms of the release? Was there a certain response that you wanted to have or a certain emphasis you wanted to have with how you chose to put it out as an EP?
Yeah, and initially I was going to do singles, the single strategy. But then I had a bunch of songs and I said, let me just get these out and see how I want to do it. Like if I want to do videos for stuff, which I am still going to do the visuals on things and get them out. But it was just after a while, it was just like, let me just do it. And I didn't follow the proper practices of, get into the DSPs with this much time, like all the stuff that I know you're supposed to do to give your release the best chance. But I just feel like it'll get its due when it's due, you know what I mean? Whether it's when I put out videos later this month or next month or down the line, it's my first project. So whether it's crazy now or crazy in 5 years, is always my first project, so it'll be there, and it just felt good to get it out and have it out, and because then the music got better afterwards. The stuff I started recording, it was things I thought were, and I still like the song like 1-3 Pocket. I like 1-3 Pocket. And I was 1-3 Pocket. That's the motherfucking hit. Like when we made it, yeah, this bowling song gonna go crazy. Hell yeah, we made a bowling banger. But now I got other songs. I'm like, okay, I was wrong. Well, maybe I wasn't wrong, but it's just the music is getting better. And so it's nice to feel that and feel that improvement and the progression and so that'll keep on happening indefinitely, if you keep on working on it, keep on releasing, keep performing, it's gonna get better. And so it's nice to have that feeling and hear that in the music, and like even hearing how the music sounds if I record the day after a show, that music sounds good because you can kind of hear the clarity. You already got the energy. So it's been exciting, man.
Yeah, I get the feeling that 1-3 Pocket was a song you thought was going to be the one, and that's the one. But I feel like Veneers is the one that I feel is your anthem.
Veneers worked before I even put it out, and I performed it. I think it's because the hook is slower and the beat is chill. Veneers is the one I think people like more than the song that has really inside bowling terminology in it. Surprise! The song about teeth is more accessible than the song about the bowling pins. Like even people that love bowling have said to me, "What is the 1-3 Pocket?"
Right, because some people could think you talk about like billiards or like shooting pool or something like that.
Nah, it's just it's the head pin and the pin to the right. But it is pretty. I got to put out a video for 1-3. I got the lyric video out. I got to get the official video out. A couple of them. I might, we'll see if I get on stubborn mode and start putting out 3-4 videos for a song. That's when I'll start really lighting up. Is just going crazy with the visuals.
Yeah, I was waiting to see the music videos. I'm glad you mentioned that. You got the lyric video up, and of course, that's a great way to get the views and engagement up. But yeah, seeing the Eshu Tune visual character, I feel like that is the next piece of this.
Yeah, I've been holding off a bit on the music videos because I kind of know when I do officials, that's when things will really shift in a way, and so I don't want to rush it. But they coming over the next month or so is when the visuals will start. I got some recorded already. I got some for Back in the City. I recorded in Thailand, actually, when I was in Thailand, and I looked on Eventbrite, and it was a restaurant packaging conference at the convention center. I was like, let me just go here. And I went, and it was all this interesting, just different machinery and robotics. Me and my lady just walked through. It was something just to, just a different environment. I said, well, I'm over here. When else am I going to be in Thailand? And it's a convention. I should shoot a music video. So I came back 2 days later and shot the video there. And so I got that. We got one for Closed Mouths. We got a pocket video. Got a version of the Veneers video, but I want to do a story version. So yeah, I got some stuff. I got them locked and loaded. I'm gonna get them out. That's one thing too, is since I am independent, I just kind of do it as when it feels right, when it genuinely feels right to do. And that feels nice, just to be able to, it's no pressure. It's just like, okay, do I truly want to do this? Ain't no ex like, hey, you gotta. There's nobody doing that, so I have to make that decision, which is a gift. I wouldn't say it's a curse, but it forces that accountability.
Yeah. With that too, I feel like with you're an independent artist who also has the luxury of this platform of your comedy that has given you not just the resources, but the platform to be able to get booked on shows or to be able to get at festivals or other things like that. How do you look overall in terms of how you view your career as an independent artist and wanting to see that through? Do you see a major label in the future? Do you see building what you have clearly with the resources that you have from your comedy and acting to be able to push off for that?
The major label thing isn't something I'm chasing. I would hear them out. You know what I mean? I'll take a meeting or a call just to hear the right pitch and see. But before I even would do that, I would have to give myself at least a year or so of operating full speed.
Right.
Like going, cause now I'm coasting. I'm doing a good amount of shows and having fun. Done a couple festivals this year with, no visuals out. So I would have to give myself all of 23 of like going, with full staff, right. What I mean? My whole infrastructure, putting out everything, like really, really going crazy, merch, all the whole thing. And then see how I like that and then see what we could do from there. But for now, I kind of got an idea of how I want to do it. And a lot of the things that a label can provide, I've been to some of these spots before, while promoting stand-up or touring or different things. I've been around. I'm sure there's other things or different cracks and crevices they can operate in, but there's a lot of things that I'm able to pull off because I'm independent, but it's not a true, like, in the same kind of thing because I've got the visibility. So it's a good help. The music still has to be good too, and I'm cognizant of that, where I want to be. I don't want to just be in the spots to be in them.
Right.
I want to be in the spots and really doing my thing and having a dope show and, justifying the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think the thing that works out for you with it well is so many folks sign with the record label because they want to be able to get the distribution that can at least get them some global recognition and reach, but then that also gives them to being able to do shows, right? And you are able to get a lot of these shows on your own, just given the connections and the influence that you have. What has that process been like specifically with you getting out? Because I know that you were up in San Francisco a couple of months ago. You did, we had the 420 thing up here. What has that process been like?
That's through friends, old friends that I've worked with before or talked with, and people that, my homie Namani helped put that together at the 420. So it's just people that believe in what I'm doing, that I have history with, that, see some opportunities. So that's really, that 420, it was Too Short went on. I forget who the DJ from the Bay was, but Too Short went on, And I was like, oh man, I'm going on after Too Short in the Bay with brand
Blow the whistle finishes. And now
and people was going crazy. And I got brand new music. Brand new. That was 2 days after the project dropped. But it was a fun time. I enjoy it so much, man. Even that show didn't go how I thought it was gonna go, but it still was fun, you know. And then I had a show.
Wait, how did you think that show was gonna go?
How did I think it was? I thought it was gonna, in my mind, and it's the blessing of being mostly optimistic on the performance side. I'm like, just dropped the project. It's circulating. 2 days after, it's the Bay. I'm gonna hit the stage. Shit going Vanilla. And then I get out there. It didn't, they was listening, but it just wasn't, it's just new rap. Sometimes it's tough. And so also then my music performance chops are a bit more developed now too. It's been some time. So I'm better at engaging the crowd, even if they don't know the music, because I think at first, bringing a lot of stand-up energy into it, meaning, you get the crowd, hey, yeah, say yeah, blah, blah, blah. You gotta, and so getting used to this monologue and even just the body language too, microphone holding, body language, like, that whole thing was still a bit rusty now. And there's a lot of room to grow. I like coming back to spots too after you did. So it'll be some folks that had a good time there too. It was dope. Had another show that night too. I did LA later that night with the full band. So it was just a dope experience to have 2 shows in the Bay, LA, same night, 420. I'll never forget that at all.
Yeah. It's an interesting crowd too, because that crowd is high as hell. Yeah. And they are definitely, it is a midweek thing too. So it's not the same way of, let's say, a music festival where it's like, 3:00 at the East Stage, Eshu Tune is going to be there, right? So that's definitely a little bit of a different vibe than I feel like what that event is.
Yeah, it was. But the one good thing, another good thing about it is that I had rehearsed right before. Like I landed, went to a rehearsal space, and then I ran through it. So when I got on stage, I felt good because I was freshly rehearsed. So even though it wasn't rocking how I thought it would rock, I kind of was in the zone, in a good space. But it's when I had the show in Philly for Adult Swim Fest, that one we were tapped in and had the band. I love having the band up there, just because I feel like, when you got the band, that's just a lot of energy on stage, and you have to, I feel like, giving them a reason to be like, okay, why are we playing for this motherfucker? So then you have to bring the energy up even more to justify the band, Mm-hmm. So that's always fun.
Yeah. So how often are you doing shows right now?
My last show was, I popped out at this open mic in LA a couple days ago. Then before that was what?
An open mic for music, to clarify.
Open mic for music.
Okay.
Yeah, open mic for music. Did a few songs. And then I got a few next week. And doing Wildin' Out next week in Atlanta. Nice. And probably do a pop-up or something in Atlanta maybe. And then I'm starting up a residency in LA, 6 weeks at Grand Star Jazz Bar. That's going to start on September 26th every Monday until October 31st. Because I wanted to get that structure in. And then, I used to host at Knitting Factory in Brooklyn, and that kind of, like, having that consistency of doing a regular spot, I hadn't done that in a minute. And so when I did the last show at Knitting Factory, that location closed down. And so it reminded me of that energy and just of that, having that regular spot where people know they can see me, because you can't always link up with friends or grab lunch and all of that. So you can kind of have the residency. People know where to find you. So I want to do that. I'm excited about doing that because I think that'll help the writing, because it'll be like, okay, I got this show. I definitely have this show on Monday.
Right.
Maybe I'll try this new song there. And then the rest of the week can kind of flow off of that. So I'm super excited about these 6 shows. I put them all on sale at once. And it's nice to see they're flowing, And so it's gonna be a good time, and then we'll see how we want to operate from there. But definitely doing those six in a row, man.
What was it like to get that process going for the residency specifically?
It was, I went to the spot, Grand Star. I saw something there. I've been there twice. It's really close to my spot, and then just reached out to the owner online. Walked over there, talked to him, told him what I was trying to do, told him I wanted Mondays. He was like, all right, you take the door, I'll take the bar. I ain't dealing with your ticketing. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, all right, it was pretty straightforward and simple. Because I realized something about LA was making me stagnant on the live performance side, and I was doing more gigs out of town. Mm-hmm. I've done some stuff, but I wasn't really consistent locally. And so I just realized I had to create that. And I couldn't be, annoyed with the nightlife if I wasn't really trying to do something about it.
Right.
When I have that ability, it's not that tough to like, hey, this is the place I do a show, So
yeah,
I'm really hyped because there'll be, I have a comedian or two and 2 or 3 music acts, and get to book stuff that I'm a fan of and tape them, and the excitement of doing a show, like putting on a regular show after doing it for a while, mm-hmm. and doing it now with knowledge and knowing how to build the vibe and promote and all those things. That's, it's going to be a blast.
Yeah. With that type of show specifically, you are also staying in the same spot. And I know that probably helps from a lifestyle perspective too. You have a young daughter, you're not trying to, be on the road maybe to the same extent, but maybe
just the consistency of this is where, for everybody, for the team, for the camera people, by the 3rd show, it's like, okay, this is my spots right here. Everybody being, the timing of it. And it's just, I got to create that consistency for myself and that external pressure to do, because then that'll just make everything else. Because then once like, okay, Monday, this is what Mondays are, no matter what. So then it's like, okay, what is Tuesday now? Since we only got 6 others. So I'm like, okay, one of those has to be a studio day or this type of day or that. Or, it forces the structure for the rest of it. So it's something I haven't had in a while, like that consistency. So, when I did have it in New York, it kind of led to the most productive times in my career and the most profitable.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I feel like I'm hearing more artists talk about that, especially we're seeing what's happening in Vegas. So many more artists, especially while they're still in their prime, taking the residencies there too. And you're starting to see them more in different cities. And I like how you did, where you're like, yeah, you essentially created your own opportunity where you're at. So, and I feel like we're going to start to see more of that as I'm just seeing trends of how artists are thinking about doing things and where it makes sense to monetize and where it doesn't.
Yeah, just, it's like, hey, I booked myself for 6, I'm here. But even, with that, it's a bunch of different things. And look, you change up the core each week, you know what I mean? Change up the merch or change up the drinks or change, all these different elements to keep it fresh, since you learning the space and learning the crowd, and you get to know the fans, because I'm sure, folks gonna return, so, and having that data too of seeing that, who you see exactly who I'm seeing, who's buying tickets and and so can reach out direct. Thank you for buying tickets, about who you listen, now it's like a kind of it's gonna be a new phase, man. And that's what thing too with the music is, since that younger hunger, because it's a newer thing, it still has that feeling of, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Right.
I could try to make things or put things, but the other parts of it, when you do that, make other things happen when you just action calls reaction. Even going to that open mic that I did the other night, and that's other people, hey, come to this show. Shows beget shows, and so it's nice to have that momentum and that feel, because the comedy side, I won't say it's predictable, but the goals kind of are. You could change up your special and different things, but the goals are like, tour special, move around and you do this but it feels super blank canvas.
Yeah. And I get the impression from you that there's part of that is enjoyable. It's that challenge. It's like what keeps it fresh in a way, because at least for comedy, you mentioned the predictability of it. Like, you knew what would work. You're getting the calls, like, and you're still getting them up to this point. So this is an opportunity to be like, no, this is something I've always wanted to do. Let me tap in here and explore the unknown, because at least from the comedy side, even though that could be unknown to someone else, but you've been in this for decades now,
Yeah. At the open mic, it was a bunch of other artists that was having the same conversation. Like, I didn't know you rapped. I didn't know you rapped. I didn't know you rapped. Like, yeah, I guess that's why I'm here. To let people know I rap. And so to have, it's still building that, through word of mouth, through performing, and, a solid amount of time. But it's happening piece by piece, where I'm, seeing folks in public, I see you doing the music, yeah, keep doing it, Yeah, it feels good, man. It feels exciting, and it's just gonna get better and keep learning, and, I got my drum set, practice more, got keys, I want to, in 5 years, be full on musician, be able to move around the whole kit, the whole, all the instruments, and really do a show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By show, what do you mean?
Like being able to, like even have a band like this one, I'm on keys for this one, and but not fucking around on keys, like actually killing that shit. And, this one I'm hopping on a kit, and like that bullshit. I don't want to, half-ass it, like, oh yeah, he's up there, that was fun, get the picture. No, I want to, actually be technically proficient at it. So, and I'm willing to work to get to that spot too, but you got to lock in for that. So that's the real goal, is to be able to, even in 7 years, pop in on somebody's set only for drums and like nail it. You know what I mean? Like, okay, he playing on somebody else's music, and it like that. That's the goal. Even if I'm 47, 50, when I'm able to do it, that's what I want to do.
Yeah. And I feel like with you too, you talked a little bit about the fan base piece of it, and you be able to see who's coming to the shows and seeing who the fans are. Do you feel like the fan base is slightly different in any way from your comedy fan base?
It will be. Right now, it's a lot of overlap, because people that might be thinking they're getting a comedy show that show up for the music, and then they're like, oh, okay, that was better than I didn't know that was happening. But there'll be some folks that weren't into my comedy at all, that I'm like, okay, I like it. I'm seeing some folks, I did Sway in the Morning, the freestyle, some people, I like this better than his comedy. Now I'm thinking, me too. I do too, yeah. And then there'll be people that never knew I did comedy once that when the music gets discovered, if they find it through the algorithm or something, there'll be some folks like, what? This guy got 4 comedy specials? Especially on when things start happening on an international scale. When I started touring Asia, going over, folks, they just find the music through the promoter or whoever. And then they're like, what? So I'm excited for that part of it too, man. It's nice to, and then I might re-release Miami Nights, but just put music videos in between that shit just to,
yeah.
Like, oh, y'all want Miami Nights? We're here. And he'd be like, and then I said 2 Chainz. You're like, veneers. Veneers, 1, 3, pocket. There's a lot of moves to, that just because I have this older stuff and this older material to be able to maneuver and, run ads against and all these different things, man. So it's just a lot of possibilities and ideas. It's a fun time. Every day I'm lit up, like excited, just because, there's so much to do and so many different ideas. And so it's just, I'm fully
locked in.
Yeah.
Where do you feel like your comedy itself fits within your career? Because I know I've listened to past interviews you've done, and you've said that, nope, I'm locked in on music right now. But I also know that you had said in other interviews that, okay, maybe in 3 years, if I do another comedy special, it'll make it all even stronger. So where does your comedy fit in for you right now?
I can still do it because I did it last night at this private gig, and I did it when we did the last night at Knitting Factory. I planned on doing 10 minutes, and I ended up going on a couple tangents, did it 20, 30. That was partially because of the history of the room and that energy there, and that's where I built that. So, and I still can write. I do banter in between. I just don't think I foresee just me kind of grinding out in the clubs or, trying to do full weekends for a while, unless it's just purely to pay for some last minute music expense. Mm-hmm. It would be just purely that if I'm at a improv or do it if I'm billed as a stand-up publicly. That's where it's at right now. Even I did for the gig last night, I brought a keys player, Preach Balfour. He plays for my show sometimes, but it was just, I didn't feel like having the emptiness of just pure waiting for laughs. It's going to be a keys player whole time. And I'm telling these stories, these jokes, but it's not going to be dead in the room. Just because it's like, I'm not giving y'all that as an audience. I'm not giving you the ability to have the shit be silent. At the very least,
right
after I say something, it's going to be beautiful keys playing in this motherfucker. So it's just that exercise of just the grind of what it takes to stay sharp as a stand-up. I don't feel like doing that anymore. I just find the music to be more enjoyable, and just it has more, you just can go into a different direct, like everything don't have to be funny or everything don't have to be one level, you know what I mean? And so maybe down the line another one, but as far as like working, I don't see it happening. Yeah.
Has any of the reaction to how comedians have either been perceived or how they're being called upon to respond to particular things, especially in the past few years with how things happening on Twitter, has any of that impacted how you feel or your relationship to comedy or making it at all?
No, man, because you don't have to do anything out here unless you're on a show where you do that and you're contractually obligated. But even that is still a choice. You know what I'm saying? Everything is a choice. We can live in the woods, man, with no electricity if we choose to. We choose to be out here and perform, play video games, move about, born into this, but you don't have to do none of the shit. All of it is made up.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I feel like, as you mentioned, a lot of it being made up probably makes people almost forget that they do have a choice in a lot of this, because I feel like what I've seen or what I've heard from other comics sometimes is that just because of how things are with the climate or how people feel like they need to respond to particular things, that there are comics that feel different, especially how things have happened post-pandemic. But I feel like your mentality is a bit more like, hey, we really don't have to, like, just like whether it's people being canceled or people having backlash for things they say, like comics don't need to fall into that.
You can just do what you want, and that's one thing. And it's not to judge or say, oh, it's wrong. I see why people would feel pressure, and I get that too. But it's after a while, you just feel like, oh, it's now that I know exactly what I enjoy. And I know the spots where I am truly having fun and losing track of time and enjoying life. And so I just try to spend as much time in those spots and spaces as I can and leave the other shit alone. It takes practice. It's great theory. It ain't fully perfect, but it's a solid system for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Has there been a bit of a connection to other comedians that have went into music? Think about someone like a Jamie Foxx or someone like that, someone else like yourself, multi-talented and has, had success in both areas. Is there kind of like, okay, you see that others have done this, or do you really feel like, no, this is an even more unique thing?
I definitely respect what they've done. The timing is different for how I'm doing it. So that's why it's tough to compare a little bit the approach, because it's been a minute. But it makes it interesting for me just from having stuff to talk about too, for doing it so long. Because sometimes I'm like, maybe I should have started when I was 23, but I think it happened when it was supposed to happen. And it happened when I was ready for it to really happen. But yeah, I watch, like Jamie's amazing, what Gambino's done is really dope. I saw Lil Duval right as Living My Best Life was popping. I saw
that was a good song. He did go with that one, yeah.
He was at the Stress Factory in Jersey as the song was peaking, and he was definitely too big for that room, but it made the energy.
Yeah,
he was like crazy. He hit the stage to it, like it was dope to see, man. Like I was genuinely excited, and you could feel that he was hyped about it too, man. Yeah. So it's dope to see when people just go for it in that way, and then we're just making this shit. You can really do anything. I have to remind myself that too. Just really do anything, man. Just, just go for this shit. I got this song, No Whip. It's a freestyle. It's a 7-minute freestyle about how I was living in Hawaii last year. I bought a car there. And then I took a trip, and then we ended up moving, but I didn't go back to like send the car, and I've been planning to, but it's just kind of one of them things where I just out of sight, out of mind, and it ain't really, causing a strain on my life.
Right.
But it is, it's kind of, I bought this whip, left it in Hawaii, but, and it's a loose freestyle. And I'm like, you know what, man, I'm going to go shoot this part here, part in Hawaii, and just keep it at 7 minutes, because you can just do that. The instinct is like, oh no, maybe I'm being repetitive, so maybe I should cut. Like, no, shoot that shit rough. Like, make it look as dope as possible. Like, shoot a rough freestyle, dope, and have fun, and then just let it fly, and just don't put the constraints on yourself unnecessarily. It's easy to try to over edit sometimes, or get it, and so it's just getting better at trusting myself, which was the initial hurdle. Was just, okay, let me do it. It was nobody like, you can't make music, man. What are you like? It was kind of me battling initially. And then once I dropped it, and then, now, okay. And then just rewiring my brain to, okay, I am doing this, and keep doing it. It's like, okay, well, we are doing this for real, no matter what. That's why I find it's like absurd when people reach out. You're like, stop. That's weird. Like, you realize I'm a very stubborn person. Like, I'm not doing it to show you up. Like, it's just like, I'm already way more locked in than you could ever imagine. So, know why you would ever tell me to stop. That's weird. But then I know that person's not locked in on whatever they want to do. Right. Have the time to tell me to stop. I mean, yeah. But it's that I don't even get mad. It's just more like, what? That's a weird thing to like, what? Stop. You realize even if my music was completely trash, I would still be able to figure it out from a marketing standpoint. I would still be able to work some angle in this shit. But it's, it's exciting, man.
Yeah. It's an exciting time, man. What has the response been like from the hip hop community?
It's been dope, man. Went on Sway in the morning, did my written freestyle. I bothered Questlove when the Roots were performing at Pitchfork. They let me rock up there. So I got to rap with Black Thought, It's been good, man. The Sway interview helped. I got a bunch of friends that I've worked with that I send stuff to sometimes. So the people that really know me, know that I've been working on things for a while and been building. So they've been super supportive, and especially the ones that know the grind has been and know how I've been working. So it's been dope, man. I'm excited to just keep pushing, putting together shows, and it's a fun time with just lots of possibilities. and shit.
Exciting time, man. Exciting stuff. So before we close things out, what should the audience stay in tune for? What does the next year look like for Eshu Tune, and what should they keep locked in for?
The plan is to drop the full-length album on my 40th birthday, February 4th, 23. So I got a couple songs done for it. Gonna start the sessions for it next month in November and December. Hopefully shoot videos December, January, drop a single New Year's Eve, and then 40th birthday album. I don't know what the title gonna be yet. 40-year-old freshman, Fort HB, Fort SU 40, 244, I don't know, something like that. But I feel like 40th birthday is a good drop date. Yeah, so that's the plan. And so I'll use the time leading up, to start purging old stuff, you know what I mean? Use that to kind of, drop loosies and different things, and even drop some of the older comedy stuff. I've been hoarding. And so I want to also, in addition to having the Mondays residency, use the Mondays as a drop date, for new content, old content, to start just really, really getting the stuff out and start just to free my brain up. Because there's a lot of, even though I'm making stuff and dropping stuff, there's a lot of other stuff that I think needs to just be let go, let the birds fly, and then it'll help the creativity more.
I hear that. In terms of other stuff too, I think I remember seeing you had a song called Numbers. Is that a kid's song?
Yeah.
One of those things you're going to be putting out there?
I don't know if I'm going to lean too heavy into the kids songs yet, or maybe under an alias. I might start dropping, but yeah, I've been seeing some of the, who's it, Gracie's Corner, and there's another one where they got the trap kind of kid stuff. Maybe. Numbers was fun to do. I did that. Yeah. Shout out to Shalik on the beat for Numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
1 robot, 2 robots. The robots is an ongoing theme in my music also.
Hey, man. We're excited for all of it, man.
Yeah.
Tons of respect for you, man.
Hey, thank you, man. Thanks, been good talking with you, dog.
Always, man.
Yeah.